Hey y'all, it's your girl Leasha. What y'all up to? I'm here with another short video. Um, I think I'm gonna tell a story. I don't know. Y'all know how I do. But I kind of wanted to talk about crossroads. You know how they have that terminology when you meet a fork in the road. I want to talk a little bit about that, and also I want to talk about not fitting in, feeling like you don't fit in. If you can relate to that, the feeling of not fitting in, go ahead and comment below and let me know what was your experience or your experiences of somehow always feeling like you don't fit in. Because I think that's kind of been the story of my life, you know, feeling like you don't quite fit no matter where you go. You always just stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah, that's me. And now they have this whole thing with being authentic and don't be afraid to be yourself, and if you don't fit in, it's because you're supposed to stand out and you're supposed to create something new, yada yada yada. That sounds nice, and it has purpose, but the actual processing of that feeling, i don't think I've really give it much thought. Like, you can talk the talk, but then when you walk the walk, that's something different. So let's talk about the crossroads first, right? So let's say that it's a little story time, right? Let's say this young lady, we're gonna call her Jill. So Jill has a lot of friends, right? Jill grew up with these friends. Um, they were partying together. They did everything together. Jill got some homegirls. They even had like the same clique, and everybody in the clique had boyfriends and girlfriends. They hung out. They always got each other's back. That's Jill's life. So one day, let's say Jill um, started. She started reading, right? More than usual, more than what you're supposed to read in quote unquote school. She came up on a book. That book was called As a Man Thinketh, So Is He. That's a really good book if you hadn't read it. So Jill came upon this book one day. It was a Sunday. She didn't have anything to do. All her friends were busy. So she said, let me just read a book. She read the book. Now, Jill did not know that this book was going to lead her into a crossroad. So, after Jill read the book, she started sharing, some of the information from the book with her friends. They laughed at her. They were like, girl, what you on now? What you been smoking? And she's like, man, so y'all don't feel like some of this stuff could be true? And all of her friends were laughing. They're like, nah, that's not true. So she started giving it more thought on the low. So Jill started reading more books. Now, the more books that Jill started reading, she started noticing that her intentions were changing. The things that she actually liked were changing, and she started noticing that she didn't really have that much in common anymore with her friends that she grew up with. And she started to notice that a kind of vibe started growing between her and her friends. They were becoming distant. They won't hang out as much. They probably will call and text and ask if she wanted to hang out, go to the club. And Jill is like, you know what, I'm just going to hang low today. I'm not going to go. Friends started noticing. So eventually, after Jill started reading all of these, they call them weird books, As a Man Thinketh was the first one that started her down the rabbit hole. Jill started looking at a whole bunch of documentaries. She started widening her horizon. So as she started widening her horizon, not only did she come into a crossroads, she started feeling like she no longer fit in. Now, Jill had to make some decisions. So Jill had to decide to start making what you would call new friends, and she did, because the new set of information that she came across allowed her to have a different perspective. And having this new perspective allowed her to see people in different lights, angles of lights. Angles of lights, we can call that angels. Angles of light, information, different angles of information. So, Jill got like 2 new buddies now, and her other friends would tease her, not so much friends anymore, but now you can say they're like acquaintances. And they would call her or text her and be like, "Are you still hanging out with your conspiracy buddies again?" So she would laugh, try to laugh it off. But she noticed that when she do try to hang out with her old friends, she didn't feel like she was really experiencing the highest and truest version of herself. So now Jill finds herself at a crossroads. One night, her conspiracy buddies wanted to go to Arizona. That same night, her old friends wanted to go clubbing. And so here she is at the crossroads thinking, gosh, those are my old friends and I really like them. But sheesh, my new buddies, my conspiracy buddies as they call them, there's so much I could learn from them. This trip to Arizona can really open me up. I've never been to Arizona before. This might be interesting. But how do I tell my old friends no? Again, she's at a crossroads. So Jill decided that she was going to make the decision that would put her on the path of more knowledge, more wisdom, more information, and heightened awareness. So Jill made the decision to go to Arizona with her conspiracy buddies. What do you know? So they went for about a week. They had a really good time, and all that time, Jill did not even call her old friends. She just left them hanging, literally. And so when she came back from Arizona, before she came back, while she was in Arizona, she actually had what you would call a spiritual awakening. For the first time, Jill actually got to experience a side of herself that she had never seen before. And it was intriguing and she loved it. So when Jill went back home, and she finally answered the calls from her old friends, they were actually mad at her. And she had to sit and have a grown-up conversation with her friends and just tell them, hey, we just don't see things the same anymore. Friends got mad, of course. But Jill, she had to make a decision, and she did. Now, making this decision was not easy for Jill, and it caused her a lot of problems, big problems. Because now, not only has Jill found herself in the middle of a crossroads, she also now knows that she no longer blends in with, quote unquote, her friends or, society. She's sticking out like a sore thumb. Anyhow, I'll tell you more about Jill in the next video. If you want to know more about Jill, just let me know in the comments and I will finish telling you about Jill. So now let's move from that story to sticking out like a sore thumb and being at some crossroads in your life. Maybe right now you're feeling like you're Jill, you're in a crossroads. You no longer have the same interests that you once had. Your friends are changing. Sometimes you can feel really alone. If you're feeling like that, it's because you're uncomfortable. And you're uncomfortable because you're growing. And if you're not growing, then you're dead. So that means that you're actually alive, you're living. So it's a good thing that you find yourself in this uncomfortable spot. But how do you deal with it? What are some healthy coping mechanisms or techniques that you can use to navigate these times when you feel like you no longer fit in, or you stick out like a sore thumb, and you have these really big major decisions that you have to make? This is when you're going to have to actually do what's called doing the work. You're going to have to go within, deep within, and you're going to have to come to a place where you are being 1000% honest with yourself. And it's not easy. This type of stuff is not easy. You lose friends along the way, you gain friends along the way. It's a transition. Transitions happen all the time. And if you're transitioning, then you're growing, and it's actually not a bad thing. Right? So, back to me and how I'm feeling like I'm always sticking out like a sore thumb and I don't never fit in. I think that has a lot to do with how I view the world. I don't view the world like how I guess most people view the world. And before, I used to try to get everybody to, look into my lenses, how I see the world. And then I would look at it as a good or bad, wrong, right. Then as I'm growing on my journey, I'm realizing that that's not wisdom, because if I'm looking through my lenses, obviously I'm going to see the world different than how you're seeing the world, because you have a different set of experiences that shape your lenses. Obviously my experiences would shape my lenses. So no two people view the world the same, really, because it's totally two. Even if you're twins, you don't view the world the same, because your experiences ultimately is what shape your lenses as far as how you view the world through your experiences, right? So I guess I'm saying all of this to say, if you feel like you're sticking out like a sore thumb and you feel like you never really truly fit in, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just something for you to embrace. It allows you to take a deeper look at self. It allows you to take a deeper look at your surroundings and see your reflection. Right? Being different isn't bad. It's just being different. So I wanted to come on here and encourage you guys today to let you know that if you feel like you're very different, don't be hard on yourself. Don't feel bad for being different. Just embrace it. Enjoy it. And take it for a spin. Take it for a ride. Right? Variety is the spice of life. That's what my mom used to tell me. Variety is the spice of life. Right? You never know. But don't feel bad for being different. And don't feel like there's something wrong with you because you always stick out. You never blend in. Okay? Some things are not meant to blend in. And you just might be one of those things or people that's not supposed to blend in. Alright? So I'm going to leave y'all with this. If y'all want to hear more about Jill, I can tell y'all more about Jill. Leave a comment and let me know how you like that. I love you guys. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your day. Try to be your most authentic self. Speak your truth. Ralph Smart is saying, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. Right? So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I'm about to go do my nails. I love you guys. Peace. I'm not going to show.